Hello and welcome to this ALINT-PRO tutorial. My name is Brandon, and today I'll be showing you the violation viewer as well as how to generate violation reports within ALINT-PRO. The violation viewer is the tool that allows you to view, organize, as well as manage any violations that may be found within your HDL. And from there, those violations can be categorized into a number of different report formats to help keep track of progress throughout your design lifecycle. So with that brief introduction, let's go ahead and get started. We can see our violation viewer here, and within it is a list of violations that have been found within our example project. If you don't happen to see the violation viewer, then you can open the window by going to View, Linting Windows, Violation Viewer, like so. By default, the window will not show any violations, as at first you must first run the linting phase of the design flow. Once this phase is completed, you can then view any violations detected by the tool. The criteria for what counts as a violation and what doesn't is determined by what policies you have enabled, and these can be configured within the global preferences or project properties. Depending on what policies you do have active, you'll find a number of violations within the viewer. For instance, we can see here violations from the ALDEC basic policy, as well as from the Stark policy. Now, all of these violations can be organized by changing the view type. These different views include the hierarchy view, which shows violations by file type and module, the flat view, which is similar to a hierarchy view but simply flattened and does not include those multiple hierarchical levels, the rule set view, which organizes violations by classification, the rules view, which shows everything by rule, the rules level view, which classifies rules into different recommendation levels, and finally the severities view. This shows rules by warnings, errors, and things like that. We can also get additional statistics on violations from the Summary tab of the Violation Viewer. This is where you can find out how many violations pertain to a particular file or instance, as well as the number of relevant rules violated. For example, we can see here that this rule pertaining to ending labels was relevant 5 times. By right-clicking on it and focusing on it back within the Violation tab, we can begin to see how those particular violations pertain to the actual design. Each instance of this violation is listed along with its location. We can double-click on any instance to be taken to exactly where this violation was detected. We can also add a task to this particular violation, such as adding a to-do comment. This is done by right-clicking on the violation and selecting Add Task, like so. From here, you may edit the comment or a tag that will be added to the source location. Now, going back to the viewer, we can see with all of these violations, it might be a bit overwhelming to go through them all. Luckily, filtering options are available. Within the viewer itself, we have a search function that compares text. For example, I can search for VHDL if I wanted to find all the violations involving VHDL via this method. Additionally, I can filter via phase using this option here. Only those violations pertaining to the selected phases will appear. To clear a filter, simply select this button here. We can also filter from outside the violation viewer by right-clicking on files, design units, or even policies and selecting Show Violations, like so. This will update the violation viewer with those violations pertaining to whichever file, design unit, or policy you selected. Now that we know how to navigate and organize our violations, let's go ahead and show a tool that might help you correct them. Right-clicking on any rule or particular violation, you can select Show Rule Description to open this window here. This viewer will provide additional information about the rule violated, such as relevant phase, tags, or problem description. We can even find sample code within these documents that shows what the violation looks like and how it can be fixed. Using the violation viewer to organize and manage our violations, and using the rule description viewer to help solve those violations, we now just need a means of helping document our progress. Fortunately, ALINT-PRO has the tool for this through its report generators. These reports can be found within either the Flow Manager or the Violation Viewer itself. We have reports available in the format of simple text, which looks like console output, full text, which includes a bit more formatting, CSV reports, PDF reports should you want something with a bit more professional formatting and design. HTML reports, which would be helpful for hosting this report on a server, for example. And finally, quality reports, which give a metric on how well your design is compliant with your given rule sets. For example, here we can see we were 85% compliant with the all deck basic rule set, meaning 85% of these rules were not violated. Now, as you just saw when I generated these reports from the Flow Manager, they included information on all violations. While the same can be done from the violation viewer, from here we can also choose to generate filtered reports based off the current active filter of the violation viewer. Should you wish to modify these reports somewhat, you can right-click on any of them to take you to the properties window for each. And from here, you can modify things such as relevance, additional filters, or a maximum number of violations per rule or for the whole report. One particular useful option here for the full text report is the option to include source, which will append a few lines of the HDL source code from around that particular violation. And that'll be it for this guide to the violation viewer as well as violation reports. Be sure to check them out in ALINT-PRO, and of course, thanks for watching.